People, this is the Old School Traveler. I just got back and I went to Cartagena, Colombia. Cartagena, Colombia. I'm going to tell you, I went down there for 9 days. Let me just tell you up front, you can travel the world, go where you want to go. You're not going to find any Hispanic food better than Cartagena. Now, I haven't been to every city in the world. I've been to all the big ones and all the major ones around the world. And I'm still going to go see some other ones because Cartagena got it going on. It is a fun city, perfect weather. Their winter is in the mid 70s to high 70s to maybe low 80s. Mid 70s to low 80s in the wintertime. And I'm going to tell you, it's a city that is a lot of fun. But now let me tell you the downside of it. I'm going to come back to the good side because the good side is way more fun, way more, to talk about. It's just a city that you're going to like. A city just going to like. Now, as far as their food goes, like I told you, open it up. You're not going to find any. I didn't have a bad meal in 9 days. And I ate out 3 times a day. From breakfast to dinner to drinks. Now, you have to be careful on some things. Here's the downside of it. That city is very touristy at all of the major monuments or major attractions. They are very touristy, and anything you buy down there in that area, you're paying about 3 to 4 times what it really costs. Yeah, you're paying a lot of money for what it really costs. And I knew that because I seen the same trinkets somewhere else for like a fifth of the price. I'm going to tell you how you know it's really, really expensive, the tourist side. A Starbucks coffee was about $6 US dollars. About $6. When I went to Starbucks and I got hot chocolate and she said 4 or 5, she said like $4.50. I thought she was talking about in her currency. And I'm thinking, oh, this is what I expect. No. She was talking about in US dollars. Yeah. Big deal. Because when I went to the Starbucks next to my Airbnb, and I was paying, the Airbnb cost me like $330 for 9 days. It was a nice Airbnb with a nice place, a nice kitchen, 3 bedrooms. It worked. $330. There was a Starbucks about 2 blocks away. I went to the Starbucks. A hot chocolate was $1.25, which is what I expected from a country that's known for cocoa. This is Cartagena, Colombia. Cocaine, yeah. You get the hint. They all came from there. So cocoa should have been pretty damn cheap. No, Starbucks charged you a fortune. Now, don't get me wrong. I did go to some mom and pop cafes, which was very, very exciting, very, very good. So that wasn't a big deal at all. So, and then you go there, you get a hot chocolate for like less than $1. I guess the cocoa leaves are very abundant at the local cafes. Now, the weather was perfect. The food was perfect. Crime is not too bad. And I say that by reading the local papers and stuff. Crime wasn't bad, especially in the area, in the area I was at. And you see a lot of police, So, crime I never had an issue. The restaurants are off the chain. Now, here's how you get ripped off. It's very, very easy. And this is in most countries. This is in most countries, not just Cartagena, Colombia, or any city in Central South America or Europe. When it's kind of like going to Rome or Naples, Italy. If the menu is in English or your local language, they're catering to you. When I went to Cartagena, every place I ate at, the entire menu was in just Spanish. Now, in the tourist areas, everything was in English. That told me who they're catering for, but also that told me who they're pricing their menu for. The big bucks. They're pricing it for the U.S. dollars, U.S. people, U.S. tourists. So that by itself automatically doubles the fees. What I did was that I met the maintenance guy in my building, or the guy who did my B&B, the cleaning guy, and he told me where to go eat at. And every place I went to, I didn't feel threatened, I didn't feel unsafe, and I was the only American in there. And the prices was about a third of what I paid in the United States for the same thing. I ate steak every damn night. I must have eaten half a cow, if not 2/3 of a cow, before I left that country, because the prices were very, very cheap. So when you go there, don't expect to get the locals price if you're eating in the tourist area. And there are so many things to see in Colombia. They got a proud heritage in Cartagena. They got a very, very proud heritage. And they, and the tour guides are really into what they tell you. Here's something funny. To be a tour guide at a lot of these companies, they want you to have a 4-year degree in hospitality or in the history of the country. You don't just wake up at 18 years old and say, hey, I'm going to be a tour guide. No, you just don't do that. The old school traveler don't rave about a lot of cities, as far as everything being pretty much great. But Cartagena, you either had to go find out where the bad stuff was, or you had to go in that area. And if I don't have a need to go in any area, I just don't go. But here's the thing too, though. I'm sure Cartagena, got some bad parts to it. Every city got bad parts to it. I don't care what city in the world. If you got a lot of people with haves, you got somebody with a have-not who's trying to take from the have, whether it's a scam, whatever. But Cartagena, I couldn't find a lot of bad things for, and now I had an Airbnb that was not in the tourist area. So let's be straight about that. That's why I paid $330 for 9 nights. Now in the tourist area, I would have paid about $800 for the same thing. Yeah. So my price told me I was living among the locals. And now Cartagena is not a very diverse city as far as different cultures, but what they are very diverse in is races. It's racist. You see Afro-Colombians, you see white Colombians, you see brown Colombians, you see a little everything. You see a little everything. And you see them all mixing and getting along together. There was really no dominant skin color that dominated the city or the or the political machine. There was you feel like I can make it in Cartagena. If I'm Colombian, I can make it whether I got something or I don't have something. You feel like I can make it. Unlike a lot of cities, you feel like I can make it. So I don't want you thinking that when I say diverse, it's not diverse. They're all Colombians, but they are diverse in their race of the people that's in that city. And I like seeing that because I like trying different foods in different cities. And I really, really, really do love thinking that when I want to try food that's not from this particular area, I can go down the street and try something totally different. And in Cartagena, I could do that because they had native Colombians, like almost of the American Indian type. They had Afro-Caribbean, Afro-Colombians, and they had white Colombians. And they all do a few things a little bit different. They all eat a little bit different. But I tried food from all of them, and I didn't find a bad meal. And it's not like I go look for a bad meal, but I'm very critical. Now, did I try a great meal? I had a couple of great meals. And still the cost was half of what it is in the United States with pretty weather. So this is how it really runs in Cartagena. But don't stick to just the tourist areas. Go to where the locals go. Go see all kind of stuff. I mean, I just had a blast. And Cartagena is probably the third or fourth biggest city in Colombia. You got Medellin, you got Cali, you got Bogota, and Barranquilla. So, those are the big ones. And they have a lot of tours outside of Cartagena to other parts of Colombia. And, and the tours are cheap. I mean, the tours are very cheap. But you can see other stuff that you would have never seen, and they're never going to show you on YouTube. You would have just never seen that. And then I love the music that they play in Colombia and Cartagena. Whether it was rap music, whether it was their version of country and western music, whether it was their version of Hispanic music, whether it was their salsa dancing and all the other things. Oh man, if you go where the tourists go and just where the tourists go, you're gonna have a lot of fun as long as you don't buy anything in those areas, because you're gonna see street shows all day long. I'm talking 7 days a week. And then also one thing I did like too. Now, Cuba, they had all these old cars from Cuba. You can rent them and drive around Cartagena. You talking about someone who loved old cars from the 50s and 60s. It's amazing that these cars are still running on the original engines. I don't know how to get parts, but they have them. But it's so many things you can do. You can, literally 9 days was just not enough. It was just not enough, because you can you can stay there 2 weeks and do something different. And plus one thing I haven't talked about, that beach is beautiful. The beach is beautiful. You got all this stuff you can do. You got all the food. You got the weather. You got everything, and then you got the beach. So if you're a beach person, how in the hell can you not like this? I mean, you just got it all in your lap. You got it all in your lap. Why somebody would want to leave Cartagena? It has to be because of economics. Because Cartagena got a lot of people that are doing very, very well. The people are well educated. They are well educated. But in every city, like I tell you, you got the haves and have-nots. Now, I didn't experience a lot of have-nots. Even the people that was in the tourist area telling you junk, selling you junk for 4 times the price, they didn't look like they were downtrodden. They didn't look like they were down and out. They didn't look their way at all. And maybe I don't know, maybe it's the dress code. If you're gonna sell your junk in a nice area, at least dress like it. And we just had food, and it was just a blast. But the one thing that I do notice, they got a lot of high rises. I'm talking about a lot of them. Now, the prices are cheap. 140, 150,000 US dollars get you on the 30th floor of most of these places, no problem at all. And you also can rent. Rent is not a big deal. If you rent, you got to get a car, like I did. And the traffic seemed organized. It didn't seem chaotic at all. It didn't seem chaotic at all. The traffic was very, very organized. And they actually stopped on a red light. Unlike Panama. When you in Cologne, Panama, there are no traffic lights. And other little cities that do have traffic light, it's strictly an accident waiting to happen if you stop. It's strictly an accident waiting to happen if you stop. But, in Cartagena, everything seems so civilized. But I'm going to tell you something that happened, though. There was a guy running for president of Colombia when I was there, and he got shot and killed. So, will that country go back into chaos? I don't know. But that's not a good feeling, though. You know what I mean? It's not a good feeling at all. But it's one of those cities that I've been to twice now. I'm going to go back again in January. I'm going back again in January. And hopefully all that political crap, settles down and figures itself out. I'm going back again for another 9 days. Because I didn't see anything to want to. You know what? You walk around at night. At no point did I see anything to make me want to not be where I was at. Walk to the restaurants, and I love Uber, when I'm traveling abroad in most places, and Uber was not a problem at all. It was cheap. So that by itself told me, just get an Uber wherever you're going and do what you're going to do. So my whole thing was the people who have never been to Colombia or people who went 30 years ago, that Colombia doesn't exist anymore. Because I went there the first time in 89. I went there again 2 years ago on a cruise. That city is just shooting up like weeds. It is totally different every time I went there, and you can tell that the government and the private investors are putting money into the infrastructure, into the hotels, into the tourist areas. Yeah, I mean they are state of the art. But the thing that I like the most about it is that it's not hard getting to those places. You got a good infrastructure. You got drinkable water. I didn't drink the water. Be upfront with you. I bought bottled water, spring water. I'm not saying that couldn't have come from somewhere else, but I didn't get sick. I had no issues, and I ate places where the tourists eat at. I ate at places where the locals eat at. Primarily where the locals eat at, because I'm looking at the locals. I'm like, he's kind of fat, so wherever he's eating at, got to be all right. And I asked him. They told me, and I just went there. And like I said, the menu was totally in Spanish, nothing in English. So I didn't have a problem at all, eating the food where the locals ate. And not only that, I feel that when the locals goes there, the food's good. Tourist food in tourist areas is not the best food in any city. If you I don't use Yelp. But if you go to like TripAdvisor and some of the other places, and you Google the best restaurants based on reviews, it's never where the tourist is. Now, I can care less about reviews because I'm a caterer. I can care less. I've never had someone say my food wasn't good. And then when you get reviews, you also get the local people or the employees of the restaurant putting in their 2 cents just so they can get a tip out of you. Oh yeah, don't tip in Colombia. Some would appreciate it, but they only expect tips in the tourist areas. When you go, when you leave the tourist areas, they don't expect a damn tip out of you. No, that's an American thing. And my job, my attitude really on tipping is simple. Get a better job, go to school. Because I'm not here to give you additional money on top of the tax and your salary. No, whoever hired you should have paid you a salary that's commensurate with your skills. Yeah, that's my take on that. But anyway, back to Colombia. I'm going back again in January. I'm going between 9 and 12 days. Flying down through Miami. I'm just going there and hang out. But at the same time, if you want to experience South America and all the diverse race and everything else that they have down there, go to Cartagena. There isn't a whole lot you can find wrong. There's a whole lot you're not going to enjoy. And you got sunshine and the beaches damn near every day, every hour. And now I have not experienced this myself. I've only walked past the clubs. But people say the club life, for you guys and women who wants to go out and just treat it like carnival and just get drunk and have a pissy fun time, or just want to go out and hear good music, they say go to the clubs. They say the clubs are great. Like I said, I don't know anything about that part, because this time, by the time I went and seen all the monuments and all the things I wanted to see, by the time that rolled around for me, it was like almost bedtime. 11 and 12 o'clock is almost bedtime for me, because I like action-packed days, and I like to start early. So, okay, this is the old school traveler telling you, Cartagena, Colombia. If it's not on your list, put it on your list. If you never thought of it, think of it. Go do it. Have fun. Old school traveler out.